Hi there, everyone. Ludodude here, and I just want to give a big thank you for my 600th episode. That was something I thought I would never get to, let alone just the scope. And anyway, I always thought getting to 500 would be a big deal, but getting to 600 is something beyond. I just thought that, oh, it's just all backlog games now, or games that I may play. But now that we're at 600, I don't think we're gonna make it to 7. I think this might be kind of the winding down. Maybe over the course of the next few years we might get to 700, but I feel like I've really covered everything I've wanted to, gotten up to date. And overall, gaming in general is dying as an industry, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Because I've experienced the best years of gaming. I've given the best time of my life to gaming, and I've loved it. People sometimes ask me what would you have done instead. I probably would have read books, I guess, or done something else. But for me, it's the most amazing mode of storytelling and experience you could ever offer. And additionally, I just found that it was just such a great time that I feel like it's finally time to really let go, move on, work on something else, work on other skills. But it's been an amazing hobby. And I feel like from here on out, I just see things getting worse. Gaming news is just constantly negative. Everything's getting canceled or sold or shut down. And it's something that just with time, right? It just feels similar to almost the music industry a little bit, or the movie industry. Like, movies are over now as well. Music is kind of over now unless you know where to look. It's funny that there's a bit of a movie renaissance because the YouTubers and video game players are making movies for them, which is funny how that works. But yeah, no, I've kind of done this channel as a way to archive my thoughts, my feelings, my repertoire with games, and the scope of their experience and what it means to someone. I still have to get my PS5. Eventually, I'm going to have to bite that bullet and get that PS5's Pro somehow. And it's roughly about, I'd say, maybe 20, 30 games left on there. And then I think I don't see myself going to next gen. Next gen at this point is going to be Gen 10, and it seems to be a completely digital generation. Helix for Xbox announced no disk drive. Sony wants to have no disc printed by 2028. Nintendo might still be in the game, and of course, Steam is the de facto digital distributor. So, in the future, where I have to choose digital distribution between Sony and Steam, I see no reason why I wouldn't go with Steam and PC. I've never been a huge PC gamer. I mean, I've definitely done my time with PCs so that I can say I am a PC gamer, and I've played all the classics from Half-Life, System Shock, Deus Ex, etc. All the RTS games, but it would never be my first choice. Playing games on a PC has this ADD effect where you can never fully focus on what you're playing, amongst a whole bunch of other issues. And just the fact that certain games are just not designed for PC. A lot of games for a long time were designed for console. And the best time for playing PC games was the 90s, when games were made for the PC, like Duke Nukem, Doom, RTS games like StarCraft, point-and-click adventure games like Myst. That was the golden age for PC, at least, and for gaming in general, actually, from 90 to like 2010, that 20-year gap, because that's when people really got creative, interesting. There were the full to like visualizations or apotheoses of these different genres that was finally able to manifest. But then after that, consoles picked up much more popularity, and a lot more games were designed for them. And design and device execution, I believe in that they are one of the same. Design, device, and execution. Um, so with it going back to Steam, the thing is with Steam, its biggest strength, I would say, is that any game that I find interesting or worth playing is essentially going to be vis-a-vis or through, indie titles. And a lot of indie titles now, they, I guess, don't have the ability or the licensing to go to the big three. And so usually a lot of the really interesting games are being revealed on Steam on PC. And it's much more liberal. I mean, there's every single type of game under the sun on Steam and on PC, including console games. So if you really have to bite the bullet and say, well, I would like to play a console game on console, but it is on PC, you can't do that the other way around. You can't go on your PS5 and look up, I don't know, like Going Under? No, no. Like certain just older PC games like Slender, for example, or Five Nights at actually no, they have FNAF. Actually, those are stupid. Undertale probably hasn't been ported. I think Undertale's definitely on Nintendo. Anyway, the point is that you can go from console to PC, but you can't necessarily go from PC to console because console is a different experience. It's a better experience, I find, because it's streamlined and designed for that, piece of software. But if they're going to say, you know what, we don't need physical discs, we don't need, user ownership, you can just play digitally. It's like, well, no, if we're going to go all digital, I'm going to go to the Digital King. That's the whole point of this schism. And I mean, Steam has been making very aggressive moves into the console space. They've made a Steam Deck, a handheld. They've made the Steam Machine, which is a virtually, basically a console, but it's priced way out of it, which is interesting because if it's technically a next gen, if this is a Gen 10 console and, PlayStation and Xbox are forced to reveal their console at a higher price point than that, then that could be a huge undercutting of those prices, where people might say, well, I just might actually get my Steam Machine rather than this and go all digital. So it's shaping up to be a very interesting matchup. I wish the Steam Machine was a little bit more powerful and just in general more price relevant. I mean, who knows how prices are going to go in the next few years, but Nintendo is cool because they still have physical cartridges and stuff. They're still physically based, so I think they're going to be fine. Nintendo just feels, and Nintendo also, it feels more approachable to the indies, which again, those are the games I actually care about. Things like Balatro and whatever, and even Mio, they have Switch versions like immediately. Like, you're not waiting for these; they are all on the Switch, and so it's very much the number one place to get these indie games if they're kind of suited for that. I mean, I think it's interesting being an indie developer. You can say, well, this can be PC based or it can be controller and Switch based. And if it's Switch based, then if it's controller based, it's kind of like, yeah, you should get this for Switch. It depends on the game as well. It's Undertale. It's like, yeah, that's definitely a PC game, but it could also be a Switch game at the same time. But since it was originally designed for PC, I feel that's kind of where it belongs. Unless something comes out specifically for Switch, then it's like, okay, I'll get this, but otherwise it's not really. And plus, Nintendo has a lot more goodwill and brand recognition amongst its, gaming history in general. So I feel like a lot of people go there for support their games. And if something gets really popular, it eventually gets ported eventually, like Silksong, which came out digitally only, and maybe like a year and a half later, now it's getting a physical release, which is something I've just pre-ordered. It's very cool. It's like, yes, I'm going to support quality where quality is due. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's a shrinking pool, and I feel like, already with the PS5, right? I mean, the price point did keep me away from it for a long time, and the Xbox did as well. But what really pulled me to the Xbox Series X is that I never owned an Xbox One because I saw no point to it. Didn't really have an exclusive besides Halo 5, which was, and so having that combined Xbox One and Xbox Series X library was very attractive to me. And so even though that was a very expensive console, I bit the bullet and bought it. With PS5, though, Yeah, it's kind of like now it has a good library, but again, it took a long time to get there. When the PS5 launched, it had nothing, and it was arrogant and boisterous. It was like the PS3 era again, where like it literally had nothing. I forget what its launch titles were, but it was just beautiful. And so once again, like the PS3, I waited for that library to build up, like the Stellar Blades and the Final Fantasies and the Elden Ring, whatnot. And now I can finally play it on a console that's gonna have a decent library. There's nothing worse than having a console and a library of less than 10 games. That just feels just awful. If I owned a Wii U, which technically I do, because I wanted to upgrade from the Wii to like do a data transfer thing, to don't ask about it. It was um I love my Wii and I love my Wii U, but even after buying a Wii U, just for the system to keep running Wii games, I had no interest in buying any Wii. In fact, a lot of them I was able to demo through the Switch online store, like Mighty 101 or Wonderful 101. And it's like, yeah, this game is fine, but I have the Switch, and Bayonetta 2 is also on the Switch, and okay, so I like there would have been like two or three games I would have bought for the Wii. It's just absolutely not worth. Very gimmicky, very weird, just bad time. And it would have been less than 10 games. If you have less than 10 games for a console, I don't think that console has justified its existence. And yeah, I mean, I don't have to say more than that. But yeah, once I have the PS5, there's going to be like I think 30, 20 games there. And I just don't see myself in the future getting into games in a hardcore way at all. It just seems very cut and dry, very boring. Like and it feels like everyone's being priced out. These are now luxury items. They're over $1,000. It's just getting very, very stupid. And with the combination of the chip shortage, everything is just going to go up in price entirely. And yeah, and then the industry too is also they're not blameless either. I mean, the cost of games keeps rising. Xbox bought up a bunch of studios, spun up a bunch of projects, and then closed more than half of them because they couldn't justify the cost, and just a lot of very stupid decisions. And they're like, oh, we're going to focus on our core audience or our core games that actually sell, which is right. And now these studios close, these games. Like, I can't imagine being a game developer right now in the industry because you have been screwed out over so many times. Like, I just want to make a game. It's like, no, we want to add microtransactions, live service. We want to do all this other stuff that has nothing with actually making a good game. We want to extract as much money as possible. So the corporate takeover is finally kind of winding down. The Silver Age is finishing. We've extracted, or will continue to extract, value by squeezing a stone for blood. And in the process, if we crush our precious gems in the process of doing that, then so be it. And they've made that decision, and we knew it was going to be something like this. But it's becoming something now where, because they didn't see this AI crisis happening, that even now, things are just getting stupidly expensive, stupid strategies. Everything now is a remake or a remaster. And the creative juice in the industry is, I wouldn't say it's completely gone. I don't think it's gone somewhere else, but the financial bulwark that has become the cancer that every industry experiences has come to fruition. It is blooming now, and to the point where nothing of value is going to be made in the next 5 years, or at least there will be very, very small pockets. I had said the Bronze Age was 1970 to 1990, actually making the functional things work and the marketing and the industry actually being created in the first place. The 90s to the 2010s was a golden age with the influx of artistry and actually classic games that, you can play Sonic 1 and the Super Marios today, and they're still as fun as when they came out. They're not just gimmicks, they're actually fun experiences. Ocarina, which is also getting remade. And from 2010 to 2030, I foresaw this would be the Silver Age, the corporate takeover, as the silver flowed out of the mines of many countries to pay for certain services. And ancient world, silver was a very lucrative and easier to mine than gold. And so because of that, that is where we are now, where there's still quality, but then there's a lot of overhyping, overshilling games like The Witcher 3, Red Dead 2, The Last of Us, and they're okay games. They're okay. I'd say The Last of Us is like a good game, but being praised as these masterpieces, these world shifting 10 out of 10 games, which is just not true. And we're kind of reaching the end of this fake and gay era. And it's been a slow wind down to death, a financial crash. Xbox announced they're letting go 3,000 employees. This is the crash. People saying, oh, I wish something would happen. It's happening right now. It's over, it's ending, and it's a weird thing, it's a bad thing, but I'm happy for it because it has become a cancer that needs to be burned away. It's something that I don't wish will never come back. I obviously still like video games. I would like to keep playing video games, but I think this purging of this cancerous realm, I think, is necessary and for growth. It's almost like a forest fire when things get overpopulated, and then the whole thing burns down, and the nutrients from the trees regrow the whole forest. I mean, it's a miracle of nature. But we're just at this point, and it's almost, I'm not really sad or angry. I'm passionate about it because it's finally. Because it's like you can't keep going on like this. Either the consumers are going to leave or the industry is going to consume itself. Corporations are going to, the corporatists will consume their own companies, which is exactly what they've done. They bought up literally the $7.5 billion to buy Bethesda and ZeniMax or whatever, and they've done nothing with it. They've just sat on it and they've allowed things to metastasize, and now it's just all coming crashing down, and that's where we are right now. So anyway, happy 600th video to me. I suppose it's been a wonderful hobby, but it looks like in the next few years at 2030 it's going to be time to exit. And once I have a PS5, I mean, that might last me another year, but that'll be it. And from there it's empty sailing. But I'm happy. I don't know. I'm happy. I'm happy about everything. I'm happy when it crashes. I'm happy if it lives, because the games I've played are just fantastic. And I hope more people get to make more creative stuff, and it's inspired me to stuff. So, anyway, guys, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.